Change of location for today. A few years ago, I did a video on what I felt were the three most sympathetic villains. Amongst them was Prince Nuada, the elf from Hellboy II, The Golden Army. When I first watched the movie, I loved him immediately because he was so badass. I mean, he had my heart with the move that he did in order to kill his own father, even if he did want to kill all mankind. But as I watched the film, I realized more than just thinking he was a total badass, I sympathized with his cause. So centuries ago, humans decided they wanted to conquer all the earth and started a war with other beings. I forgot who all were involved, but I do know that the elves and the trolls were a part of it. So after being defeated by the humans, a troll went to the Elf King and told him he could build a golden army that could defeat the humans. Well, the golden army worked a little too well, and the Elf King felt enormous remorse. Even though, if he didn't have the golden army, the humans wouldn't have felt remorse and wouldn't have stopped until they were all dead. So he called a truce, even though he was winning, and vowed that the elves would stick to the forest and the humans would stick to the city. Of course, over time, the humans forgot all about the elves and encroached upon the forest until the elves had nowhere to go. But the king just continued to retreat until the humans had what they set out to get all those centuries ago. Prince Nuada came back to do what was right for his people. But the Elf King and the princess were content to let the elf race die out rather than go back on the truce that the humans weren't keeping to. Like, for them, it was better to be honorable than be alive. I definitely felt a certain way watching them argue with Prince Nuada. The movie set him up as the villain, and we were supposed to sympathize with the king and the princess because they were willing to protect humans at all costs. When in reality, they were fools for taking the stance that they did. They would rather their own people die out than to cross the humans who didn't care for them or even know they existed. It's giving big pick-me energy, especially when the person coming to the princess's aid was Hellboy. He insists on being a superhero and saving humans, even when they refuse to see him as anything other than the villain. He just wants to be picked so bad. Frankly, if I was Hellboy, I would have sided with Prince Nuada. Humans don't want you. Let them fend for themselves. In thinking of Prince Nuada's situation, I think of Killmonger from Black Panther. I remember when Black Panther came out and there was a lot of discourse over whether Killmonger was right. I definitely didn't agree with his actions, but there were definite parallels in their stories, including Prince Nuada reclaiming an artifact from an auction and Killmonger reclaiming a vibranium artifact from a museum. Another parallel was in Wakanda Forever, when the United Nations was admonishing Wakanda for keeping vibranium to themselves while trying to steal it. The only reason they even knew vibranium existed was because T'Challa wanted to use their resources to help the world and not just themselves. And how did they thank him? By trying to steal from Wakanda. It's very much like when King Pick-me himself saved the baby in the midst of destruction and was accused of stealing and harming the baby when he got it back safely to its mother. The elf story is even similar to Namor's story from Wakanda Forever. Namor's people retreated from the surface world out of safety. They left them alone until the humans encroached on their territory, like the humans encroached on the elves' territory in Hellboy II. But instead of being happy to let the humans have their way, Namor's people fought back. Of course, I wish they didn't have to drag the Wakandans into it, but I couldn't be mad at them for fighting for the right to live in peace. But in Hellboy II, the Elf King and the princess would have you believe it's better to roll over and die than stand up for yourself. They believed this so much that the king ordered Prince Nuada's death and the princess killed herself because she knew it would kill Prince Nuada rather than let him have his own way. He had already told Hellboy that Hellboy would have to kill him because he wasn't going to stop. Hellboy didn't believe him because he couldn't imagine anyone desiring freedom more than the good opinion of humans. So yeah, in Hellboy 2, I rooted for Prince Nuada, and his father's and sister's actions disgusted me rather than gained my sympathy, because anyone who would rather die than fight for their freedom cannot be considered noble or honorable to me. So what did you think of Hellboy 2? Do you think I should expand my sympathetic villains list to include Killmonger and Namor? Let me know in the comments below. And let me know if there's a topic you would like to see me talk about. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know the next time I upload or go live.